Welcome back to Narrations. Tonight's story begins with mountains. Endless green hills rolling beneath a wide Austrian sky, where music seems to echo naturally through the air. This is the sound of music. It's about music. About courage. And about a young woman who unexpectedly becomes the heart of a broken family. High above the Austrian countryside, the camera glides across rolling green hills before settling on a young woman spinning joyfully in an open meadow. Her voice carries effortlessly through the mountains as she sings with a kind of happiness that feels almost contagious. This young woman is Maria, and in that moment she looks like someone who belongs to the wide open world around her. Yet Maria's life is meant to follow a very different path. She is living at Nürnberg Abbey in Salzburg, preparing for a life of devotion as a postulant. While the other nuns move through their daily routines with calm discipline, Maria struggles to contain her energy. She is frequently late for prayers, often distracted by the beauty of the outdoors, and sometimes so lost in music that she forgets the quiet order expected within the convent walls. The other sisters care about her deeply, but they cannot quite decide whether Maria is meant for the religious life she is trying to enter. Concerned but compassionate, the mother abbess observes Maria carefully. Rather than punish her restlessness, she decides that Maria may need to experience the world beyond the abbey before she can truly understand her calling. She assigns Maria a temporary position as a governess for the children of Captain von Trapp, a respected naval officer who lives in a large villa outside Salzburg. The position is expected to be demanding. Captain von Trapp is a widower raising 7 children alone, and the household has developed a reputation for strict discipline. Maria, carrying little more than a suitcase and her hopeful spirit, makes the journey to the von Trapp estate. When she arrives, the contrast between Maria's warmth and the atmosphere of the house is immediate. The villa is beautiful but strangely quiet, almost formal. The staff move carefully, aware that the captain expects order at all times. The children themselves are introduced in an unusual way. Captain von Trapp uses a whistle to summon them, and they line up in perfect formation as if responding to military command. One by one they introduce themselves. Liesel, the eldest and already beginning to step into adulthood, Friedrich, Luisa, Kurt, Brigitta, Marta, and the youngest, Gretel. Each child studies Maria with curiosity because they have already driven away several previous governesses. Their reputation for mischief is well earned. The children quickly attempt their usual tricks, hoping to frighten Maria away just like the others. But Maria reacts differently. Instead of punishing them, she laughs. Instead of scolding them, she treats them as children who simply need joy back in their lives. She notices that their uniforms feel stiff and restrictive, so she sews play clothes for them out of old curtains so they can run outside freely. She introduces them to games, laughter, and something the house has not heard in years, music. Maria begins teaching them simple songs, guiding them gently through scales that become the cheerful melody of do-re-mi. Through music, the children discover a freedom they had forgotten. They sing while exploring the hills, march playfully through the streets of Salzburg, and laugh together, as if rediscovering what childhood is supposed to feel like. Captain von Trapp initially sees Maria's influence as a problem. His life has been defined by structure and discipline, especially since the death of his wife. In order to cope with his grief, he has built strict rules around his household, believing that order will keep everything from falling apart. When he hears the children singing together one afternoon, his reaction is anger. Music reminds him of a past he has tried to lock away. But Maria does not retreat from him. With surprising courage, she explains that the children need more than rules. They need warmth, encouragement, and the freedom to be themselves. Her honesty unsettles him, yet it also plants a seed. That seed grows quietly. One evening, as Maria teaches the children a gentle lullaby called "The Sound of Music," the captain listens from another room. The melody stirs memories he has been trying to ignore. Slowly, almost without realizing it, he joins the singing. It is a small moment, but it changes everything. For the first time since his wife's death, the captain allows music back into his home. From that point forward, the atmosphere of the house begins to soften. The children become more confident and affectionate, and the captain himself starts to rediscover the warmth he had buried beneath years of discipline. Yet, while the Von Trapp household begins to fill with life again, the world beyond their gates is growing darker. Austria is living under increasing pressure from Nazi Germany, and political tension is spreading across the country. Captain von Trapp, who is deeply patriotic toward Austria, quietly opposes the growing influence of the Nazi regime. His refusal to support them will soon place his entire family in danger. At the same time, Maria begins to experience a more personal conflict. As she spends more time with the family, she realizes that her feelings toward Captain von Trapp are changing. What began as admiration has slowly become something deeper and more complicated. Believing that these feelings mean she has failed in her religious commitment, Maria becomes frightened by her own emotions. Instead of confronting them, she makes a sudden decision. She leaves the Von Trapp household and returns to the abbey, hoping that distance will restore the clarity she believes she has lost. But the house she leaves behind feels empty without her presence, and the children quickly realize how much she meant to them. Even the captain senses that something essential has disappeared. Maria may believe she is running back toward the life she thought she wanted, but the truth is that her story with the Von Trapp family is far from finished. When Maria returns to Naumburg Abbey, she believes she has done the right thing. The familiar stone walls and quiet routines feel safe compared to the emotional confusion she experienced at the Von Trapp house. She throws herself back into prayer and work, trying to silence the thoughts that continue to return to her mind, the children laughing in the garden, the music filling the halls of the house, and the quiet warmth in Captain von Trapp's voice when he finally sang again. Yet even inside the peaceful abbey, Maria cannot escape the truths she is trying to ignore. The mother abbess sees it clearly. She listens patiently as Maria confesses that she left the Von Trapp household because she was frightened by her own feelings. Maria believes she has disappointed everyone, including herself, by allowing her heart to wander away from the path she had intended to follow. But the mother abbess gently explains that running away from love does not bring clarity. Life outside the abbey is not a distraction from faith. Sometimes it is the very place where a person discovers what their purpose truly is. She tells Maria that the world needs people who are willing to love and care for others, and that the Von Trapp children need her far more than the abbey does. Encouraged by this wisdom, Maria gathers the courage to return to the family she left behind. When she arrives back at the villa, however, she finds that things have changed. Captain von Trapp has become engaged to Baroness Elsa Schrader, a wealthy and sophisticated woman who moves comfortably within the elegant social circles of Salzburg. The Baroness has been spending more time with the captain, and it appears that a formal marriage is being arranged. Maria feels as though she has returned too late. She tries to resume her duties with the children as though nothing has happened, but her heart is heavy with the belief that she has lost something precious without ever fully understanding it. The children, of course, see things differently. They are thrilled that Maria has returned, and their happiness quickly fills the house again. Meanwhile, the Baroness begins to notice the connection between Maria and the captain. Although she initially treats the situation with polite amusement, she soon realizes that the bond between them is stronger than she expected. The Baroness may represent elegance and status, but Maria represents warmth and sincerity, qualities that the children and even the captain himself cannot easily replace. In a moment of surprising honesty, the Baroness gently confronts Maria and suggests that her presence is making the captain reconsider his future. Maria, overwhelmed by guilt, prepares to leave again. But before she can disappear, Captain von Trapp finally speaks openly about his own feelings. He realizes that the happiness in his home began the moment Maria arrived. The laughter of his children, the return of music, and the warmth that slowly replaced the cold discipline of his household all came from her presence. The engagement to the Baroness quietly dissolves, and in a moment that feels both inevitable and joyful, the captain asks Maria to marry him. This time, Maria does not run away. She accepts, and the wedding that follows is simple yet deeply meaningful. For a short time, it seems as though the von Trapp family has found perfect harmony. But the political situation in Austria continues to grow more dangerous. Nazi Germany annexes Austria, and the pressure to support the regime becomes impossible to ignore. Captain von Trapp is ordered to accept a commission in the German Navy, something he cannot morally accept. He knows that refusing the order will place his family in grave danger. The once peaceful hills around Salzburg are no longer untouched by the political storms sweeping across Europe. When the family receives an invitation to perform at the Salzburg Music Festival, they realize it may be their only chance to escape the country safely. Music, which once brought joy back into their home, now becomes the key to their freedom. During the festival performance, the von Trapp family stands together on stage, singing with a unity that reflects the love they have built as a family. The audience listens with admiration, unaware that this performance is also a farewell. As soon as the final song ends, the family quietly slips away from the stage and disappears into the shadows behind the theater. Nazi officers begin searching the building, determined to stop them from leaving. The tension builds as the family hides inside the abbey where Maria once lived. The nuns who once guided Maria now help protect the entire family, hiding them while soldiers search nearby. It is a quiet but powerful act of courage. Under the cover of night, the von Trapp family finally leaves Salzburg and begins their journey across the mountains. The path ahead is uncertain, but they walk together, guided by the same spirit that brought music back into their lives. The hills stretch endlessly before them as they move toward freedom, leaving behind the world that had tried to silence them. The Sound of Music is not only a story about songs and beautiful mountains. It is about the courage to build a family out of love, even in the middle of uncertainty and danger. Maria never planned to become the heart of the von Trapp household, yet her kindness and music changed their lives forever. Sometimes the people who teach us how to sing are also the ones who teach us how to be brave. If you enjoyed listening to this narration, please like, share, and subscribe for more movie stories. I'll see you in the next one.